One, let us continue with a quick revision of the last class. I hope you all have revised the contents which we have seen in the last lecture. It was completely based on the concept called as file handling. Whenever you talk about any concept called as file handling, it means you want to read and write the data from the files. And there were two types. One was binary and another was text file. So we have seen if I want to work upon reading and writing on binary file, either I can use file output stream or file input stream. If I want to write multiple lines, then I can go for buffered reader and buffer input and buffer output stream. If I want to go for writing primitive types, so data output stream and data input stream. Apart from that, if you want to write non-primitive data, means if you want to write objects within the file, in that case, that process is called as serialization. And for that, we use object output stream and object input stream. So we have seen yesterday the concept of what is serialization. What do you mean by deserialization? Then we have seen serial version UID, which is the number, unique constant number given at the time of, you can say serialization and deserialization. Any class whose object I want to write it onto the file, in that case, that class must implement serializable. So what is serializable? It's an interface. It is a marker interface. I've explained about or I've shown you serialization interface के पास खुद का कोई भी method नहीं था. It was a marker interface, right? Next, so it's like a tagging. It is like a marking given to that particular class. So if you have a class implement serializable, then only you can write its object onto the file. Otherwise, you cannot write the objects inside the file. Later on, we have created a class student, and that class student or class employee, that class employee object we have written within the file. And when I want to write the data in the file, in that case, I have to make that class implement serializable. So I've shown you all these details into the last class. Now, I have given one practice question. I've told create a one student object and then put it into the file, read it from the file. When you're reading it, that process is deserialization. When you're reading it, in that case, you have to make sure whatever type of object that you have written within the file, you should read it in that same format. It means if you're reading the data in the form of student object, while reading, it should accept student object. If you have written the data in the array list object, you should fetch it using array list only. So these things you need to understand. So we have seen what is write object, what is read object, and so on. After that, I have explained about two more classes which works with text files. If you want to create a text document, text file, TXT file, then we go for something called as file reader and file writer. And if you want to go for something called as reading and writing in multiple data formats, then we can go for buffered reader and buffered writer. No doubt, अगर मैंने file reader and file writer लिखा, या फिर file input stream and file output stream लिखा, then also you can write multiple characters. But in that case, the data will be written one after the other character, and that is what is a difference, right? Now, let us try. So I'm assuming that everyone have understood up to this point. Did you all get up to this point? Everyone, have you practiced? All right, now let us continue with the next point as day 15, right? We will talk about annotation and we will talk about reflection today, correct? So I'll save this. Start the server. Give me a second. So let us continue with the concept of annotation, right? Now, everyone, you all have heard about something called as tag, right? In your Facebook, in your Instagram, you just use hashtag. Have you ever used that? Hashtag to someone, right? So, or maybe in your WhatsApp, when you write @someone. So does that message is basically to that specific person, right? So in your Facebook, in your Instagram, you use hashtag. So what does that hashtag indicates? It's like a tagging that you're doing. It's like some kind of information that you're supplying. And it is like basically you are pointing to someone, correct? Similarly, if you use WhatsApp, so if I have 100 students in some group, then when I say @someone, @some person, It is basically, though the message is visible by everyone, but yes, when I'm saying @someone, it means I'm pointing to that person but for saying some message to it, right? So is basically you are tagging someone, right? Similarly, why am I tag someone? It is basically I want to give information to that person. I want to just tell to everyone that this message belongs to only that specific person. And maybe I want to pass this message directly to that person. That's the reason we do some tagging, correct? It is basically gives me some more information. For example, if I just write some data, that is also okay. But if I say @someone and then write the data, it means I am supplying some more information along with that message. Correct? So that concept is actually called as annotation. Have you understood what is annotation? Annotation means you would like to tag something. So in your program, even if I tag or even if I do not tag, does it matter? No, it does not matter. For example, if I write a simple message, it is okay. But if I tag someone along with that message, that is also absolutely okay. When I'm tagging, I'm giving a little bit more information. When I'm tagging, I'm talking about that specific person and I'm talking about that particular message. That is how the tagging is used. Otherwise, programmatically, it is not majorly used, but yes, it gives you data about the program. Now, annotations, a form of a metadata, which provides data about the program. So, in this scenario, we will see how to go for annotations. Annotations have number of uses. First, information for the compiler. जैसे कि आप comments लिखते हो, correct? So when you write comments, in that case, the compiler will understand these statements I do not want to execute. On the similar lines, if you use annotations within the program, in that case, it is just information for the compiler. What do you mean by information for the compiler? It is basically going to supply some detailed information about the method, about the class, about the constructor, about the function that you are using, about the field that you are using. So it is like one kind of information that you are using or giving to the compiler. Now, you will see the different example and you will understand. There is compile time and deployment time processing. Some annotations may work at compile time and some may work at the deployment time. I'll tell you about that. Runtime processing means they are available to be examined at runtime. For example, when I write @Akshita and I pass some message. So when you type it, correct? At that moment, you just see you see list of people and Akshita dikha और बाद में आपने message type किया. So that is called as during the development of the code, during the compile time, you are just mentioning @Akshita. When you send the message, is that name is little bit highlighted? Have you seen that? Of course, yes. That means what? That means at runtime also, it is retaining the property. Means during the compile time also, during the drafting of a message, your messages are basically trying to see. There's something called as @. तो कंपाइल टाइम पे भी वो प्रोसेसिंग हो रहा है एंड रन टाइम पे भी वो प्रोसेस हो रहा है. इट इज बीइंग एग्जामाइंड एट रन टाइम. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ड्यूरिंग कंपाइल टाइम एंड ड्यूरिंग द रन टाइम. नाउ सो वी विल सी how to go for annotations. What are the different available annotations for us? Can we have our own annotations and so on? But right now, you just remember, if I'm saying annotation, it means it's like a tag just to give some information about the program. Correct? Now, there are different types of annotations. One is a marker annotation. Marker means annotation without any argument. Next is single valued annotation. It means the annotation will have at least a single value. And then is a multi-valued annotation. It means the annotation, while specifying, you are passing multiple amount of data while using the annotation. So now, if I'm saying, I'll go to java.lang package. And I hope you know the package consists of interfaces. I hope you can understand what is interface. A package consists of classes, that also you know. A package consists of enums, that also we have seen. Package consists of exceptions, that also we have seen. There can be some runtime errors that also we have seen, and there can be annotation types. So can you see in a package, there are different types. A type can be a class, type can be an interface, type can be exception, type can be error, type can be annotation type. Now, in java.lang package, there are 5 annotations: deprecated, functional interface, override, safeguards, and suppress warning. These are the annotations. Functional interface, I'll talk on Monday on functional programming. I'll close it. But here, when I have clicked on deprecated, can you please see what it is? जब ये क्लास था तो आपको क्लास कीवर्ड था, जब इंटरफेस यूज किया तो इंटरफेस कीवर्ड था, जब so I'll just write it over here. If you were having any declaration as a class, तो class declaration के लिए you have used which keyword? Class keyword. Next, when you wanted some abstract class declaration, then in that case, what you have written? You have written abstract class and class name. Do you all agree? Perfect. Here also class and class name. Next, if you talk about any, you can say specific interface declaration, right? In that case, you have used the keyword called as interface and you have given name of the interface, right? On the similar lines, please understand, if I want annotation declaration on my own, right? In that case, I will write @interface and annotation name. These are the syntaxes that you have to remember. जब भी आपको क्लास डिक्लेयर करना है तो आप क्लास एंड क्लास नेम लिखते हो. जब भी आपको एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास डिक्लेयर करना था तो यू हैव रिटन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास एंड क्लास नेम. When you wanted to go for interface, then you have used the keyword interface. When you want to go for annotation, then you use @interface. Have you understood, everyone? So I'll say, first point, annotation declaration syntax. Correct. Now let us observe. I'll go to @override, @deprecate. Can you please observe? In this, it is belonging to java.lang. It is of type annotation type. Deprecated ke aage, when it is defined, can you see it is written @interface? Right. जब भी आपके पास क्लास डिक्लेरेशन था तो क्लास सिस्टम, क्लास स्ट्रिंग, क्लास इंटीजर, क्लास ArrayList था. But now I am using annotation. So how it uses? It uses @ and it uses interface. Did you all get up to this point? Everyone? Perfect. Next point. Before this, can you see it is mentioned @documented, @retention, @target? I'll talk about it. You will understand gradually. Hold on. Let us observe override. Is my override as an annotation? Right. And can you see here also it's written public @interface override. Correct. Next, let's check. I'm saying safe variable arguments. And see this, @interface safe variable arguments. That is also one annotation. Next, if you say suppress warning, this is also one annotation. @interface suppress warning. Correct? The way you were having some predefined classes, the way you were having some predefined interfaces, enums and exceptions, on the similar lines, you have predefined annotations. When you say predefined annotations, so it is deprecated, maybe override, maybe safeguards, maybe suppress warning, and so on. Is it okay? Now, can I say deprecated, override, safeguard, suppress warning are predefined annotations? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Good. Next, let us say next point. I'll just go to this point. I'll create one new class, day15_1. Correct? Let us assume, let it get created. Let us assume I have a class person, correct? And let us say I have a display function. I'm just saying system.out.println, and I'm saying inside person class display. I'll say class maybe employee, and I'm here saying extends person. Next, I'll write void display. Here I'll say system.out.println inside employee class display. I hope you remember. If I want to give a call to person class display function, I'll use super.display. Do you all remember this? Everyone? Correct. Now, here I'll say @override. Everyone, let us assume I have here M1 function, M1 method. And let us say I have here M2 method, and so on. Now, please tell me, is my person class is having total how many methods? 2 methods. My class employee is having how many methods? 2 methods. Quickly tell me, M2 is overridden method or non-overridden method? Non-overridden. Perfect. Why non-overridden? Because M2 जो method है वो person class में नहीं है, वो सिर्फ employee class में है. ठीक है. Next point. Can you please tell me display method? Is it overridden or non-overridden? It is overridden. How did you recognize it's overridden? It is because the display method is there in the superclass as well as in the subclass. Perfect. Good. Now, when I say in this scenario, अगर मैं यहाँ पे @override नहीं भी लिखती थी, was my code working fine? Yes, absolutely. Perfect. But in this scenario, if I know I am the developer 1 and I want to give some information to developer 2, that means the one who is going to look into my code should be easily able to understand which is overridden and which is not overridden. So I do not have a time to write, oh, this is non-overridden method, this is overridden method. Rather, I will just tag it with @override. Have you understood what I have done? I have supplied some kind of information for this method, and that is what I'm saying. I am using the annotation. For example, do you remember source generate toString, and I'll say generate toString here, I'll say generate. Do you remember every time we used to get @override? And at that moment, I've always told you, let us try to ignore this line. I'll explain at the time of annotation. So automatically it is saying @override. It means toString method is available in the superclass. Who's the superclass of person? Object. It is there in the toString. It is there in the object class. I am reusing it. I'm going to redefine it. It is an overridden method. So is it easy for the developer to understand, oh, this is the overridden method? Yes or no? Am I supplying some information? Right. But comments also provide the information regarding the program. Correct. But do I have a time to write the comments every time in my program? No. Right? So programmatically, I am trying to see I have this annotation @override. Is it okay? Got it. Now, let us say here I'm writing @override. Is it okay? Will it work over here @override? No, it will not work. Can you see it's giving me error? The method M2 of type employee must override or implement a super type. या तो आप @override को remove कीजिए या फिर M2 को create कीजिए in the type person. Means can I conclude whenever I'm performing function overriding, then only I can write @override in front of that method. Is it okay? Did you all get? Everyone? अगर मेरा same function super class में भी है और सब class में भी है with the same signature, जब मैं उस concept को हम बोलते हैं function overriding. And if I'm overriding it, I can annotate it by using a predefined annotation called as @override. Got it, everyone? नाइस। क्या आप फील्ड को ओवरराइड करते हो क्या? नो। क्या आप क्लास को ओवरराइड कर सकते हो क्या? नो। क्या कंस्ट्रक्टर को ओवरराइड कर सकते हो क्या? नो। इट मीन्स कैन आई से आई कैन यूज @ override only in front of method names? Correct. Then I will say the target for @ override is methods only. कुछ समझ में आया? What is target? @ override मैं कहां पे यूज कर सकती हूँ? सिर्फ मेथड्स के आगे। तो @ override एनोटेशन का टारगेट कौन है? सिर्फ मेथड। अभी कुछ समझ में आया? हैव यू अंडरस्टूड? परफेक्ट। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, लिसन केयरफुली। Can you please tell me on line number 27, am I using the annotation or am I defining the annotation? We are using the annotation. कैसे पता चला? Because मैंने कहीं पे भी डिफाइन नहीं किया है, मैं सिर्फ उसे यूज कर रही हूं। तो can I say override is a predefined annotation? Yes, I'm using it. कुछ समझ में आया? Everyone? Perfect. Now, let us say it means, can I conclude from this any function which is overridden, that function can be preceded with @ override annotation? Right. Do I have to import it? No. The reason it is present in java.lang package. Have you understood the meaning of @ override? We are using the annotation. Correct. Next point. If I'm just writing @ and the annotation name, @ and override, what does it mean? In this case, I'm not supplying any arguments to it. If I do not supply any arguments to the annotation, it is called as marker annotation. Have you understood what is marker annotation? कि annotation use करने के time अगर मैंने कोई parameters pass नहीं किए हैं तो उसे हम बोलते हैं marker annotation. Is it okay? Perfect. Good. Let us go back to override. Just check. Annotation type is override. It is defined using @ interface. It is defined in which package? Java.lang. It indicates, it is just an indication that the method declaration is to overridden method of its super type. If a method is annotated with this annotation type, compilers are required to generate an error message unless at least one of the following condition is holding. I have shown you the method does not override, तो भी वो error दिया. The method signature is not correct. Means function definition is function signature, function prototype does not match, then only the compiler is also giving me the annotation error. Are we okay? Next. अब आप observe कीजिए. When I say @ interface override, is के पहले it is saying @ retention and @ target. Now please tell me, if I'm writing @ target, if I'm writing @ retention, quickly tell me, am I defining the annotation or am I reusing the annotation? I am using the annotation. It means एक annotation define करने के time मैंने किसी और annotation के साथ उसे tag किया है. And can you see @ interface override का target value है method. It means you can use @ override only in front of method names. Did you get? I'll come to the retention, don't worry. But have you at least understood up to this point? Perfect. Now, I'll take one more example of deprecated. नहीं आया समझ में? Okay, listen carefully. In this case, please observe, can I say this is how the annotation is defined in java.lang package? इतना समझ में आया? Yes or no? Yes or no? Correct. Next, इस annotation के आगे मैंने लिखा है @ target. अब आप मुझे बताओ, यहां पे मैंने annotation को यूज किया है कि डिफाइन किया है? ऑब्वियसली डिफाइन करने के टाइम आपको @ interface वर्ड होना चाहिए. तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया है? सिर्फ यूज किया है. टारगेट की वैल्यू मैंने क्या दिया है, मेथड दिया है. व्हाट डज इट मीन? इट मीन्स दैट आपका जो एनोटेशन है आप सिर्फ उसी टारगेट के आगे यूज कर सकते हो. तो ओवरराइड आप किसके आगे यूज कर सकते हो? ओनली इन फ्रंट ऑफ मेथड. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? मेथड मीन्स फंक्शन. ठीक है. Okay. Now, gradually you will gain confidence. Don't worry. I'll talk about maybe deprecated. I'll go to deprecated. Quickly tell me, what is deprecated? What is deprecated? It is an annotation. How did you recognize? It's at the rate interface. Correct? Next, it is defined in java.lang package. Means it is predefined. Correct? Let me come back to this page. So here, I have given you example of override. Comments. ठीक है. Next, I'll proceed. All right. Do you remember we have used integer num is equal to new integer and bracket mein I'm passing 55. And do you remember it is giving me strike through, right? This strike through, I have mentioned to you that this particular feature has been removed in the newer Java versions. And that's why this feature have been deprecated. Deprecation hone ki wajah se it gives me strike through. Correct? But if you can see, it is giving me the warning also. Right. And please check. It is said the constructor int is deprecated since version 9. It has been deprecated. So it is saying what are the 3 quick fixes available. The first fix it is saying add @suppress warning deprecation to num. So I'll write here num. Can you see something? As soon as I'm saying @suppress warning, I am using the annotation. And along with the annotation, I am just adding one field called as deprecation. Means when you have used @override, you have not passed anything. It was a marker annotation. And when you pass annotation along with some value, single value I'm passing, so I'll say single value is single valued annotation. Deprecation means उसके आगे के वर्जन से उसका प्रॉपर्टी हटाया गया. मीन्स 9th वर्जन के बाद 9th वर्जन ऑनवर्ड्स जावा में अगर आप इंटीजर ऐसा लिखोगे तो दिस फीचर हैव बीन रिमूव्ड कॉल्ड एज डेप्रिकेशन. इट इज अ ओल्डर वन. सो इज माय वार्निंग इज गॉन नाउ? Yes or no? Perfect. Hold on. Let us say I'm creating one more time. Integer value is equal to new integer. I'm just passing 25. Can you observe again it is warning deprecation? Right. I'm going for 3 quick fixes available from that. I'll go for first and you can say add suppress warning deprecation to value. Now please tell me, suppress warning is one annotation. Is it predefined or is it user defined? It is predefined. Point number 2. In this scenario, please tell me, with the suppress warning, have I passed some argument? How many arguments I've passed? It is 1. This is called as single valued annotation. कुछ समझ में आया? Everyone? Right. Point number 2. Please tell me, in this scenario, I have used this annotation suppress warning in front of what? Is it in front of a class? Is it in front of a method? Is it in front of the field? Is it in front of a variable? Where I have used? Num and value, ये दोनों मेन के अंदर 2 ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं जिसे आप लोकल वेरिएबल्स भी बोल सकते हो. Perfect. So I have used this annotation in front of variables. Do you agree? Right. So can I say suppress warning annotation का target variable हो सकता है? Of course, yes. Do you agree? Correct. Now, so here, observe. I'll copy this code and I'll take this once again. I'm removing this suppress warning. Now, everyone knows that in this scenario, we have used num and the value. That's okay. But can you see here it is giving me add a suppress warning. Now, please understand. In the previous example, I've said add the suppress warning deprecation to num. तो मैंने num के आगे मेरे पास suppress warning आया था. Now I'm saying add a suppress warning deprecation to main. Let me just select that. Can you see I'm getting @suppress warning bracket में deprecation. Means can you see the warning has been removed? तो कंपाइल टाइम पे मुझे कोई वार्निंग नहीं. ये वार्निंग क्यों आ रहा है नम और वैल्यू पे? इट इज बिकॉज अब तक मैंने उनको यूज नहीं किया, मैंने उनको प्रिंट नहीं किया, अनयूज्ड है वो, इसलिए इसलिए वार्निंग दे रहा है. But at least have you understood how I have removed this warning part by adding an annotation? Correct. Now please understand, in the previous example, if I have used suppress warning in front of the variable, मुझे 2 बार लिखना पड़ रहा था in front of every variable, right? But if I write this in front of any function, then in that case, wherever I have a deprecated version I'm using, it will not give me warnings. अगर वार्निंग्स आती है तो जल्दी से हमारा ध्यान जाता है. मैंने @suppress warning दिया, वो येलो मार्किंग चला गया. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? @suppress warning का मीनिंग. Correct. Now, when I say @suppress warning into this scenario on line number 5, can you please tell me in front of which target I have used it? It is used in front of which target? In front of the function. It's not object. Main के आगे लिखा है ना? Main के ऊपर लिखा है. तो can I say मेरा main targeted है? जैसे आप @अक्षिता लिखते हो तो वो मुझे टारगेटेड रहेगा. @someone some person name तो उस पर्सन को टारगेटेड रहेगा. तो यहाँ पे टारगेट कौन है? उसका मेन फंक्शन है. अभी समझ में आया? या तो फंक्शन बोल सकते हैं या मेथड बोलते हैं जावा में. करेक्ट? That means, let's observe. In this scenario, let's check deprecated. Please check. Is it @interface deprecated? Yes. Is it belonging to java.lang? Yes. Is it an annotation type? Yes. Forget about retention, I'll talk about it. Forget about documented, I'll talk about it. Don't worry. But can you see here, @target is given as set of values. What does it mean? You can use @deprecate in front of local variable, in front of method, in front of any package, parameter, type or a constructor. कुछ समझ में आया? अब टारगेट क्या हो सकता है? ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपने कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाया, उसमें एक इंटीजर ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया, तो ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ डेप्रिकेटेड. तो कंस्ट्रक्टर के आगे @deprecated आएगा, @suppress warning आएगा. Have you understood, everyone? Perfect. Now let us observe. There's something called as suppress warning. Can you see? We have seen in @suppress warning, right? When you use the suppress warning, then what? Have I tried to use suppress warning in front of field, in front of local variable, in front of method? Yes. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? What is a target? Correct. तो टारगेट कैन बी, अब जावा क्लास के अंदर किसी भी जावा प्रोग्राम में क्या क्या टारगेट्स हो सकते हैं? कोई भी टाइप हो सकता है, मे बी टाइप इंडिकेट्स क्लास, इंटरफेस, एक्सेप्शन, इनाम, एनोटेशन. फील्ड हो सकते हैं, मेथड हो सकता है, पैरामीटर्स हो सकते हैं, कंस्ट्रक्टर हो सकता है या लोकल वेरिएबल हो सकता है. ये सारे कंटेंट के आगे आप @suppress warning यूज कर सकते हो. इज इट ओके? Yes or no? Right. Someone is asking how to use a target annotation. I will help you out to create your own annotations. Then you will understand. Correct? For time being, just understand @target का मीनिंग क्या है, कहां पे मैं इस एनोटेशन को यूज कर सकती हूँ. इज इट ओके? चेक दिस आउट. @target. क्विकली टेल मी, टारगेट क्या है? एक दूसरा एनोटेशन. कौन से पैकेज में है? java.lang.annotation. What does it indicate? It indicates the context in which annotation type is applicable. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? परफेक्ट. नेक्स्ट, प्लीज चेक. एट द रेट टारगेट एलिमेंट टाइप एनोटेशन टाइप हो सकता है. एट द रेट टाइप आप मेंबर के आगे भी लगा सकते हो. एट द रेट टारगेट आप फील्ड के आगे, मेथड के आगे, किसी भी फील्ड के आगे भी लगा सकते हो. Did you all understand what is basically a target? Yes or no? Everyone. Perfect. Good. Next point. Let us observe. I'll say, I'll go for one array list. I'll say array list. EL is equal to new array list. I'll import java.util. Correct? Let us say I'll write array list.add 10. Array list.add maybe 20, or maybe I'll say some name. Array list.add, maybe I'll pass some data. Again, array list.add, maybe I'll pass 5.5, and so on. Now, can you see I'm getting some warnings? Right? Correct. I want to remove these warnings, so I can supply some suppress warning. Do you agree? Right. But what warning it is giving me? Please check. It is saying array list is of raw type. Do you remember the word raw type? Perfect. It is saying references to the generic type array list E should be parameterized. So it is giving 5 quick fixes available. Option number 1, add a type argument. I do not want to add a type argument. I'll not go for that. Infer generic type argument. कोई तो दूसरा generic type बताओ. वो भी मुझे नहीं करना है. And it is saying add @ suppress warning raw types to AL. AL is my list. I'll go for this option. I'll add it. Can you see what has happened now? The warning has been removed and I have written the annotation @ suppress warning. It is of raw types. Is it okay? Perfect. Next, one more time. If you can see, it is again saying there's a type safety. Because you have passed here int value, because you have passed here string value, you have passed here string value, here you have passed a double value. It's a type unsafe. It is unchecked. So here it is giving one again quick fixes. It is saying add a suppress warning unchecked to main. I'll say add a suppress warning unchecked. So can you see if I write an annotation, मेरे सारे warnings चले जा रहे हैं. My code is looking more better. Otherwise, if someone would see my code, they will say, oh, there are so many warnings into this code. Are you okay? Have you understood the need of annotation? Yes or no? Perfect. Next point. Let us say I'm saying array list, right? Someone is saying warning show here, so then that is okay. But you are able to suppress the warning. How? By using the suppress warning. That's how it is. Right. So if I'm saying add overridden method नहीं है. दूसरा add जो है वो आपका suppress warning method, suppress warning है, वो हम a1.add function call के टाइम नहीं कॉल कर सकते, इसलिए it has given me the option to write a suppress warning unchecked over here. Right? Hold on. I'll say I'll create array list A2, new array list. I'll say A2.add maybe, oh no, A2.add maybe 88. Any data I'm passing. Quickly tell me, is it a warning? Yes. I have to use suppress warning raw type to A2. Can you imagine? Every time, whenever I'm going for a raw type, I have to add suppress warning. Right. Please tell me, suppress warning that I have used everywhere, is it of single valued or multi-valued? It is a single valued annotation. It is single value annotation. What does it mean? It means that in case of using the annotation, if you write only one single data in the bracket, it is single valued annotation. Perfect. Let us come back to the next point. I'll just quickly copy this code somewhere over here. And in this case, I'm removing all these annotations for a time being. And let us understand, when I got a warning, it says add @suppress warning raw type to AL. Now I do not want to write this suppress warning as a target in front of the local variable. I want to write a suppress warning raw types to main. So can you see in front of main, I have written raw types. What has happened? Wherever inside the main, I'm using raw type. Have I written the same code again and again like previous scenario? No. Next, if you see here, I'm adding the data, which is of whose the type is not specified. So here I'll say a1.add 10. I'm saying add a suppress warning unchecked to main. Check it out. Can you see it is taking multiple values now? Right. But if I have written over here unchecked, what does it mean? Wherever there is a type unsafety, you are basically going to go ahead for suppressing that particular warning. Have you all understood up to this point? Yes or no? So if you write annotations in case of, you can say in front of main, so that will be applicable in the whole code of main. That's how it is. Is it okay? Did you all get? Everyone? Can you please tell me line number 7 is single valued or multi-valued? It is multi-valued annotation. So can I say, let us go ahead into the documentation. Suppress warning indicates the name compiler warning should be suppressed. And what is the target value? I can use in front of type, field, method, parameter, constructor, local variable. Is it okay? Is it fine? Perfect. Shall we go ahead? Okay. Now, let me just take this code. I'll copy. Or maybe, I hope you remember the concept of variable number of arguments. कुछ याद है? Okay, you want me to give constructor example? Okay, I'll just create another project. I'll say close. Let us assume I have a class test. In this, initially, I'm creating array list AL is equal to initially null. I'm creating a constructor where I'm saying AL is equal to new array list. I'm initializing it. I have to import java.util, right? Here it is giving me warning. Here it is giving me warning. Can you see here? It says add suppress warning raw types to the test. कुछ समझ में आया? It means I have used suppress warning in front of constructor. Next, here, array list, it's saying add suppress warning raw type to AL. Is it okay? Right, it's okay. समझ में आया? How I have used suppress warning in front of local variable, in front of method, in front of constructor also. Are you satisfied? ठीक है. Let us go ahead to, can we apply it to test? See, if I say here, I'll remove this, I'll cut over here, I'll paste it. Is it okay? Yes, it is absolutely okay. Can you see here? All right, I'll do one thing. I'll keep it like this. I'll copy this code. And instead of writing it again and again, better I can also write in front of class name. Class kya hai? What is class? It's a type, right? It's a type. So is it mentioned in front of suppress warning that you can use in front of any type? Check it out. Suppress warning. It is type. Please check what is a type. Element type. It can be a class, interface, enum declaration. Element type field can be the field declaration, include enum constant. Element type method, it's a method declaration. Element type parameter, formal parameter declaration. Element type constructor, it's a constructor declaration. Local variable, a local variable declaration. Annotation type, annotation के आगे भी आप इसे लगा सकते हो. Package, in front of package declaration. Type parameter declaration. कहाँ पे use कर रहे हो? Maybe element of type. Have you understood now what can be the targeted values? So it is basically, can you see here we have written @target, value is all these. ये सब कैपिटल में लिखा हुआ है और हर एक वैल्यू को कुछ ना कुछ enum constant दिया गया है. @target kinds of types and values. It is having enum constants and maybe annotation type is given some enum constant. ये सारे enum constants है जो target नाम के interface enum को you can say fetch कर रहे हैं. Is it okay? Have you got the link now? Perfect. Good. Next, let us say I am writing somewhere this mean, right? And here string ... Do you remember it's a valid syntax? Correct. Next, can you see here? Right now I'm not using array list as an import statement. यहाँ पे भी वो warning दिखा रहा है. I am using @suppress warning unused, right? अगर unused है तो उसने मुझे even though मैंने पैकेज इंक्लूड किया है बट उसमें वार्निंग नहीं दिखा रहा है. Are we okay? Unused, raw types, deprecation, आपके ऊपर है आपको यहाँ पे क्या डेटा पास करनी है. That's how it is. ठीक है. वार्निंग्स सप्रेस किए तो वार्निंग ही जाएंगे, एरर्स नहीं जाएंगे. ओके, एरर्स तो हमें ही रिजॉल्व करने हैं ना. ठीक. I'll go for day_15_4. Now, let us say I'll go for some function. Maybe I'll say the same function where were we safe variable arguments. I'll copy this code. Now, let us assume we have created a method, maybe M1. List, I'm importing java.list. I'm passing some string list. Arrays, I'm importing java.util. As a list, I'm passing some data. We are saying array list of 0, so is equal to temporary list. And now, in this case, maybe I'm removing this part. What I want to show at this point is, let us say, we have created a list of type string and ... indicates variable number of arguments. When I say I'm passing that string list, I'm storing into an object array. So can you see here I'm getting a warning, the type is unchecked, right? Why it is unchecked? Because do you remember list is what type? A generic type, right? So here it is saying @suppress warning unchecked to string list, right? Next point, if you say I'm passing some, maybe I'll go for list, maybe L1 is equal to new array list of, you can say this is how I'll go for, right? I'll say L1 dot add, maybe I'm passing str1. L1 dot add, maybe I'll pass str2. And L1 dot add, maybe I'll say 20. I'll give a call to M1 by passing this list. Can you see there are so many warnings, right? Here, I'll say add suppress warning raw type to L1. Again, can you see add suppress warning unchecked domain? Here, add the rates warnings unchecked domain. Here, when I'm passing add suppress warning, add safeguards. When I say add safe variable arguments, it means that whenever you are passing number of arguments, the list of arguments may vary. It can be one argument, it can be two arguments, it can be four arguments. But whenever I'm passing any data, let it consider as a safe values. Though it is not safe, but yes, I'm considering that is safe argument. Here, I'll say add raw types to main. Here, I'll say add raw types unchecked to main. So can you see all the warnings have been removed? Yes. What I want to explain over here is when you are using suppress warnings, so you can pass multi-value. But when you say safe variable argument, is it a marker annotation? Is it a marker annotation? Yes. Please check. Here, safe variable arguments. I can use this safe variable argument annotation in front of how many targets? Observe and tell me. In front of two targets. One is constructor, another is method. कुछ समझ में आया? Everyone? Did you get what do you mean by targets? All right. Now, just a second. All right. So, have you understood what do you mean by safeguards? How to go for? Safeguards is generally used when you are trying to pass variable number of arguments. So that is the only one, you can say annotation that you can use in front of variable number of arguments. Are we okay? Yes or no? Perfect. Good. So shall we go ahead? Shall we go ahead? All right. I'll just close this. So let us talk about the next point. So we have seen marker annotation. Annotation without any element is called as marker annotation. A single valued annotation, annotation which is having a single element is called as annotation, who's taking single value. Next, multi-valued annotation, annotation which is having multiple elements, for example, some annotation name and multiple values. Correct? Now, when I'm saying single and multiple value annotations, so @interface demo, I will say int value. What does it mean? Whenever I'm using @interface, it indicates it's an annotation. Demo kaha, so it's an annotation name. Int value kaha means it is taking only one value. That's a single value. We will prove it by declaring our own annotation. @interface demo means I'm using an annotation of which name? Demo name. I'm using one value, I'm assigning some default value. That is called as declaration along with a default value. If you say @demo value is equal to 10, what does it mean? You are using an annotation by applying some single value, value is equal to 10. That is called a single valued annotation. Right? Now, please observe in the previous examples, if you have annotation which is taking single value, so you have passed it using round brackets and in the double quotes. But if you have multiple number of annotations, let me go to 15_2. It is always enclosed into curly brackets. It is a list of values it is taking. Okay? So जब आप एक वैल्यू पास कर रहे हो तो राउंड ब्रैकेट्स में डबल कोट्स में एक ही वैल्यू पास कीजिए. When you pass multiple values, pass it into, you can say curly brackets. Perfect. Good. I'll just close this. Next point. Let us assume I want to go for multi-values. You will define multiple values in curly brackets. Value 1, value 2, value 3. If you want to give some default values, you can give default 1, default, and so on. If you want to use that, then you can use by using @. तो जब आपको annotation को define करना है, आप कीवर्ड यूज करते हो @interface. जब आपको annotation को यूज करना है, तो आप सिर्फ @ and annotation name यूज करते हो. Observe. @interface. Quickly tell me, it is nothing but defining the interface or declaring the interface. It is defining. You are defining the annotation. Can you please tell me, EMP में कितने number of values आपने declare किए हैं? EMP is having 3 number of values. Perfect. Next, in this second scenario, can you please tell me, is it a definition of annotation or is it a using of annotation? It is again a definition. Next, how many values I have within the annotation? Only 3 values. Have I supplied some default values to it? Yes. So that's why I have given the default values. Is it okay? Perfect. Next point. On the third column, please tell me, have I you can say used the annotation or defined the annotation? I'm using the annotation. Am I supplying some values to it? Yes, I'm supplying it. कुछ समझ में आया? Define and use का difference. Correct. Now, let us talk about, we have already talked about some predefined annotations. The set of annotation types which are defined in Java APIs and something called as deprecation, something called as override, suppress warning, safe or variable argument, functional interface, and so on. Correct? Now, when you talk about other predefined annotations, which are there in java.lang.annotation, let us check. Somewhere over here, we know java.lang, but there is java.lang.annotation package, which consists of annotation types. Can you see something called as documented, retention, and a target? These 3 are majorly used. Can you see in this package, I have an interface called as annotation. Can you see in this package, I have enum. याद है कुछ हमने element type देखा था? Element type can be anything. Can be constructor, field, local variable, and so on. Are you okay up to this point? Yes or no? If yes, then let us try to go ahead with the custom annotation. Correct? ठीक है. Guys, I've repeated many times. Let us assume I'm writing @interface test. I'm passing here value 1. Next, I'm saying value 1, the default has 100. Now everyone please tell me, the first scenario, मैंने keyword क्या use किया है? @interface. Is it okay? I've repeated many times. Can you please tell me @interface? Here also @interface. Perfect. इससे आपको क्या पता चल रहा है? इससे आपको क्या पता चल रहा है? Test is an annotation which is defined. इतना समझ में आ रहा है? हम define कर रहे हैं उसको. ठीक है? Having one parameter. Parameter का नाम क्या है? What's the parameter name? It is value 1. It is value 1. Right? Correct. So, I'll just write parameter is value 1. All good. Point number 2. Please tell me. In the second scenario, can you please tell me what I have done? @interface कहाँ है? So, test is an annotation, right? Which is defined again, having one value 1 with default value as 100. इससे ज़्यादा simplified way मैं नहीं बता सकती. I hope it is clear now. Is it okay? Right. Suppose I'm saying I'm using interface, again test, and I'm saying value 1 or maybe v1 again V2, maybe V3. Now tell me, in this scenario, again, if I have which keyword? @interface. If this is the keyword, then please tell me test is an annotation, right? And which is having 3 values. Do you agree? Any default value is there? No. Which is defined having 3 values. Are we okay now? Are you able to understand the difference now? ठीक है. अब आप मुझे बताइए, guys, अब इंटरफेस एनोटेशन का मतलब क्या है? जब आपको खुद का कोई एनोटेशन क्रिएट करना है तो आप कीवर्ड लिखते हो @interface. आर यू अवेक सिंस मॉर्निंग? जस्ट चेक इट आउट. I'll wait over here. If it is understood, just tell me. I hope it is okay now. जब आपको when you want to go for creating an annotation, so what you use? @interface keyword. It's a keyword, no? Collectively. Have I explained in the beginning only? There should not be any confusion. I've tried to make you understand in a very simpler way. Right. Is it difficult? Or am I making it difficult for you? No. So are you awake? Right. अगर आपको एनोटेशन खुद का बनाना है तो आप @interface कीवर्ड लिखोगे. Right? Coming back to this point. Suppose I'm saying I want to use a test interface. How I will use it? I'll just say @test and I'll pass some value because it is expecting one value. अभी कुछ समझ में आया? Next, अगर मुझे ये इंटरफेस इस टेस्ट एनोटेशन को यूज करना है, आई विल पास द वैल्यू. अगर मैंने उसे डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू दिया है, डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू असाइन होगी. अगर मैंने खुद का वैल्यू सप्लाई किया, ऑब्वियसली वो ओवरराइड हो जाएगा. And if I want to use a test now, I have, it is expecting